So my friends from Grandview will know exactly what that means. I'm doing two things in this week's video. I am adding a little daylight. It's a little ensemble trick that I use when I'm teaching high school and college big bands, and using three different licks and showing you what I might do with them over the blues. So if you're ready, let's jump into what to do with these licks. First up, hey, what's up? My Grandview High School Jazz 1 and Jazz 2 friends. This first lick that I played to open up the video is just a short little lick that Amruta and Cassandra convinced me to associate with an idea that I teach called add a little daylight. And it's whenever you have a dotted something that's beamed to something else or tied over to something else, might look like that. When you add a little daylight right after the dot in an ensemble situation, if you add just that little bit of gap, it tends to line up the ensemble together as opposed to playing straight through that dot. It might be something like this. If you add a little bit of daylight, just that little bit of daylight seems to line up ensembles together. So if you just add that little bit of daylight, you may find band directors and educators that these rhythms tend to line themselves up when you add a little daylight. All right, so these other two licks that I'm adding with this add a little daylight lick, you can see those original licks from my Lick of the Day series. It's November 1st and November 3rd of 2018. And I'm gonna show you what I might do with those licks over a blues. So if you're ready, let's jump in. Okay, so in the past couple videos, I've shown you where I use the licks and why I use them there, but when you're using the blues, a lot of these licks can be used in a number of different places. So I want to talk about why I use the licks, where I use them in this week's video. I'm using the add a little daylight lick inside of the third measure over that concert F7, just because it works out great there. And this lick, I'm using the third to the ninth or the second scale degree. And I can actually use that over a number of different spaces over these chord changes. It works great over the B diminished 7, works great over the C7, the F7, the D7, the A minor 7. So there's a lot of different contexts that that particular line works, and it's just two notes. The November 1st lick, I like using over the B flat 7 or the F7 because we're playing a blues. This flat third or sharp 9 sound works great over the F7 or the B flat 7. Some in the education world call this the blues note. I'm not a big fan of that because that implies that we're using the blues scale, and I'm personally not a fan of using the blues scale. I actually like teaching younger students to start with the pentatonic scale, the major pentatonic first. In this case, concert F. And then you can flat the third or make it a sharp 9. So notice that's part of that November 1st lick. And then the November 3rd lick, I believe I used over the last 4 bars of the phrase because it's just this descending line of concert F to E flat. we're highlighting all the great tones inside of that progression. So let's take a listen again to how I use these licks, and then I'll show you the written music that goes along with it. All right, now the moment of truth. I want to see if you can play these licks over these changes. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to do that without leaving this video. You get to stay right here and test it out yourself. So let's give it a shot. So how did you do? I would love for you to post a video of you trying out these licks over these blues changes. But before you do anything else, make sure that you're hitting that subscribe button down below, and that bell that's right next to it lets you know when I'm posting other videos. Would also love it if you gave it a thumbs up if you liked the video, and be sure to leave a comment down below. Definitely expecting a comment from you, Amruta and Cassandra and everybody else in Jazz 1 and Jazz 2 from Grandview. And if you've enjoyed this video, be sure to share it with other friends or musicians that you think might benefit from it. And as always, I'll see you next time.